Ash rain in Japan, destructive tornadoes in Europe, a deadly earthquake in the Philippines, and a rare seismic event in Italy. The past week once again reminded us of the power of natural disasters. More on this in the report. India. On the evening of June 1st, a powerful storm accompanied by torrential rain struck the Indian state of Rajasthan. Winds reaching up to 100 kilometers per hour in some areas knocked down trees, destroyed building roofs, disabled power lines and transformer substations. Hundreds of villages were left without electricity, while disruptions to water supply systems led to shortages of drinking water in many settlements. Renewable energy facilities were also seriously affected. In the Barmer district, one wind turbine collapsed. It is worth noting that the share of solar energy in India's energy sector continues to grow rapidly. In May of this year alone, under a government program to install solar panels on the roofs of residential buildings across the country, a record number of systems was put into operation, 316,000. At the same time, Rajasthan remains the country's leader in installed solar power capacity and is home to the largest solar parks. Unfortunately, this very infrastructure ended up in the impact zone of the powerful storm. In the Jaisalmer district, strong winds tore off and scattered hundreds of solar panels, and one worker was injured by flying debris. In the village of Parawar, at a cement plant, strong winds tore off a metal canopy, which collapsed onto sleeping workers, injuring about 18 people. Especially severe consequences of the storm were reported in the Barmer district, where dozens of houses were destroyed and people, trying to escape, ran into the streets in panic. 2 young children were tragically killed when walls collapsed. The parents of one of the victims said that the family was sleeping when a powerful squall suddenly hit. The wall of the house collapsed within seconds, leaving no chance for escape. On June 5th, the state of Rajasthan was once again hit by severe weather, as strong thunderstorms were accompanied by squally winds and dust storms. In the Bikaner district, the roof of a government school collapsed. Fortunately, there were no casualties since the school was closed for vacation. In the Bhilwara district, a man died after a metal roofing sheet, torn off by the wind, inflicted fatal injuries on him. And in Dholpur, 2 brothers were killed when a wall collapsed as they were trying to shelter from the storm. The 2 powerful storms that struck Rajasthan claimed the lives of at least 6 people. In the mountainous state of Sikkim, heavy rains triggered a landslide, as a result of which a car carrying a family of 4, including a child, was thrown into the Tayesta River. Rescue workers carried out a search operation for several days, but unfortunately, the people could not be saved. At Indira Gandhi International Airport in Delhi, a powerful storm with strong wind gusts struck on June 7th, damaging 3 Air India aircraft. Italy. During the first week of June, following record heat, a cold front moved across Italy, bringing a wave of severe and even extreme weather events from the north to the center of the country. On June 2nd, the Piedmont region was hit by severe thunderstorms. On screen, the provinces of Alessandria, Vercelli, and Novara were affected the most. In some areas, wind speeds exceeded 100 kilometers per hour. The severe weather knocked down trees, damaged rooftops, shattered windows, and disrupted the power supply. As a result of the storm, the Turin-Germagnano railway line was damaged, which led to a temporary suspension of train service. On June 3rd, the thunderstorm front reached the Marche region on the Adriatic coast. In the province of Macerata, rare mammatus clouds were observed, indicating high atmospheric instability. In the San Paolo di Jesi area, large hail the size of a chicken egg caused damage to cars, buildings, and agricultural land within a short time. Heavy rainfall also led to localized flooding and transport disruptions. On the same day, a Category 1 F1 tornado suddenly struck Rome. More than 50 trees were brought down by the vortex, causing damage to cars, buildings, traffic lights, and power lines. Fires broke out because of broken electrical lines. The storm also left a visible mark in the commercial area. One of the pavilions was lifted into the air and thrown onto a parked car. Market stalls, canopies, and equipment were damaged, while roads were blocked by trees and structural debris. As a result of the disaster, 2 people were injured, and the suddenness and destructive force of the tornado caused real terror among local residents. A powerful thunderstorm that suddenly swept over Milan and its northern suburbs on June 5th caused flooding, major transport disruptions, and widespread infrastructure damage. Within a short period of time, up to 60 millimeters of rain fell in the hardest-hit areas. In Sinicello, 51 millimeters of rain fell in just 1 hour, and at that level of intensity, storm drainage systems quickly stopped being able to cope with the flow of water. The rapid rise in the water level of the Seviso River forced the authorities to activate a flood diversion reservoir designed to temporarily receive excess rain runoff. This measure helps reduce pressure on the river channel and lowers the risk of flooding in urban areas. The Netherlands.
Kijk de toestand van onze boom.
On June 4th, a small but destructive tornado struck the village of Glanerbroek in the province of Overijssel in the Netherlands. On the international Fujita scale, the vortex was classified as a Category 1F 1.5 tornado. The storm caused serious damage. Roofs were torn off houses and outbuildings, trees and fences were knocked down, and one warehouse was completely destroyed. According to eyewitnesses, roof debris was scattered as far as 80 meters away. Because some of the damaged roofs contained asbestos, dangerous asbestos fibers were released into the air. Since these fibers pose a serious health risk when inhaled, a specialized company was brought in to handle the cleanup. The local primary school was also damaged. After the incident, parents picked up their children from the building. According to official information, there were no fatalities or injuries. The tornado then crossed the border into Germany and, after several minutes, reached the town of Grono in the state of North Rhine-Westphalia. By that time, its strength had decreased to Category 1F1, so the consequences were less severe. Only minor roof damage and torn-off roof tiles were recorded. Bulgaria. Starting on June 2nd, most of Bulgaria came under the influence of a storm with torrential rainfall and hail, which led to localized flooding and significant material damage in a number of regions. An especially critical situation developed in the village of Tica in the Sliven region. After intense downpours, the river overflowed its banks, flooding residential homes, yards, and roads. In some places, the water level reached 1 meter. As the situation worsened, the BG Alert emergency warning system was activated. The flooding also affected the Kotel Omortag National Road, part of which was submerged. For safety reasons, traffic was stopped. In the Varna region, several regional roads were also flooded and covered with a layer of mud as a result of the storm, disrupting transport connections. In the village of Medovets, which suffered from flooding twice within a short period of time, houses and agricultural facilities were damaged, and one of 5 bridges was destroyed. In the area of the Kazanlak municipality in the Stara Zagora region, a powerful storm was accompanied by torrential rain and large hail, which in some places reached the size of a walnut. In the village of Enina, yards were covered with a dense layer of ice within minutes. In the village of Borovan, eyewitnesses managed to capture a tornado on video, a fairly rare phenomenon for this region. However, no information about any damage from it was reported. Lithuania. On June 5th, a powerful storm accompanied by thunderstorms and heavy rainfall swept across part of Lithuania. During the period of severe weather, about 4,700 lightning strikes were recorded, while in some places the amount of rainfall reached a 2-week norm in just 1 day. Kaunas was especially severely affected by the storm. Around 37 millimeters of rain fell there within a short period of time, leading to street flooding. But the most serious consequences were linked to tornadoes. Over the course of the day, 4 such events were recorded in the country. The strongest of them, rated Category 1 F2, passed through Kaunas, leaving behind a path of destruction about 3 kilometers long and up to 200 meters wide. In just 1 to 2 minutes, the storm damaged house roofs and cars, knocked down trees, and left about 8,000 people without electricity. Significant damage was caused to the local cemetery. Eyewitnesses described what they saw as an apocalyptic scene. Fallen trees damaged graves and monuments, while artificial flowers from the cemetery were carried by the wind hundreds of meters away, and people found them in their own yards. Another powerful tornado, rated Category 1F 1.5, passed through the village of Antonavas in the Kazlu Ruda area. Eyewitnesses said the vortex appeared as if out of nowhere and intensified literally within moments. It damaged roofs, uprooted trees, and scattered various objects, while the noise accompanying it resembled the roar of a plane taking off. In the Panevėžys and Kupiškis districts, local residents also captured 2 more tornadoes on video. Seismic and volcanic activity. On the morning of June 7th, a series of volcanic eruptions began at Sakurajima volcano in Kagoshima Prefecture, Japan. The first small emissions were observed from around 5 o'clock in the morning, followed by a more powerful eruption in the Minamidake crater, which became continuous and lasted for about 1 hour. The volcanic ash plume reached a height of about 1,300 meters above the crater and drifted westward toward the urban part of Kagoshima. Strong winds were observed over the city, with gusts exceeding 18 meters per second. As a result, ash fell across a wide area, mainly in the city center. The sky over the city darkened, while streets, rooftops, and cars were covered with a gray layer of volcanic ash. Rainfall created additional difficulties. Mixing with water, the ash formed so-called ash rain, which settled on surfaces, roads, clothing, bicycles, and entered swimming pools. To clean the city streets, the authorities in Kagoshima mobilized 46 specialized street cleaning vehicles for the first time in the past 11 months. Before the current episode, Sakurajima had already been showing signs of increased activity for several weeks. After April 11th, noticeable eruptions and explosions became more frequent again. And since late May, instruments of the Japan Meteorological Agency had been recording deformation of the Earth's crust associated with inflation of the volcanic edifice. During a field survey on June 3rd, an emission of about 2,900 tons of sulfur dioxide per day was also recorded, indicating an active supply of volcanic gases from the deep system.
鹿児島市内に多くの火山灰が今飛来しているという状況です。で、この後午後に
Shiveluch volcano in Russia also showed increased activity. According to the Kamchatka volcanic eruption response team, on June 6th, it emitted an ash column up to 12 kilometers above sea level. The ash plume stretched about 10 kilometers east of the volcano, while the explosion itself lasted about 10 minutes. Specialists raised the aviation color code to red, which is considered the highest level. Despite the absence of ashfall in populated areas, local residents were reminded of safety measures because of the continuing possibility of new emissions. A strong, deep-focus earthquake with a magnitude of 6.1 occurred during the night of June 2nd in the waters of the Tyrrhenian Sea, off the northwestern coast of the Calabria region. The epicenter was located about 20 kilometers from the shore, and the focus lay at a depth of 259 kilometers. According to specialists from Italy's National Institute of Geophysics and Volcanology, an earthquake of this magnitude at such a great depth is a rare and notable event for the region. The tremors were felt across a significant part of southern Italy, especially in Calabria and along the coast of the Tyrrhenian Sea. Reports of shaking also came from more distant areas, including the Lazio region. Inside homes, chandeliers swayed, furniture shook, and objects shifted, but there were no serious damage or injuries. Depth played a significant role. The high-frequency components of the waves, which are responsible for the sharpest and most destructive shaking, largely weakened on their way to the surface. A series of earthquakes occurred on June 7th in the northern part of the island of Evia in Greece. Within 6 minutes, specialists recorded 3 tremors, the strongest of which had a magnitude of 5.2. The epicenter was located in the area of the village of Prokopi. The tremors were felt not only on Evia, but also in the Attica region, including Athens. After the main earthquake, the region experienced intense aftershock activity. Overnight alone, about 70 seismic events with magnitudes of up to 4.3 were recorded. The earthquake did not cause significant destruction. The most noticeable damage was reported in the villages of Prokopi and Dafnausa. Mainly, the old housing stock was affected. Cracks appeared in buildings and partial damage to walls and individual structural elements was reported. In the town of Mantudi, small landslides and rockfalls occurred. A destructive earthquake with a magnitude of 7.8 occurred on the morning of June 8th off the coast of Mindanao Island in the Philippines. The tremors covered a significant area in the major port city of General Santos. With a population of about 720,000 people, the shaking intensity reached level 7 on the scale of the Philippine Seismological Service. The maximum instrumental readings, level 8, were recorded in the municipality of Malapatan in Sarangani province. The first tsunami waves reached the shore just a few minutes after the main shock. In Sarangani province, their maximum height was recorded at almost 1.5 meters, while waves of about 1 meter were observed along other sections of the southern Mindanao coast. In one village, houses on stilts were damaged. The tsunami was recorded not only in the Philippines, but also in other countries of the region. Off the coast of the Indonesian island of Sulawesi, the wave height reached 83 centimeters, while in Palau and Japan, it reached up to 30 centimeters. The most serious damage from the earthquake occurred in General Santos and neighboring areas. In the city, a restaurant building and a radio station building collapsed, while a large shopping mall and Notre Dame of Dadiangas University were damaged. Dangerous cracks appeared in the structure of one of the key bridges, and damage to communication towers caused serious communication disruptions in some areas. Transport infrastructure also suffered significant damage. Cracks formed on roads, and General Santos International Airport suspended operations for safety inspections. At least 63 domestic flights were cancelled. Exceptions were made only for humanitarian missions. The power supply system was also seriously affected. According to the Department of Energy, about 864,000 households were left without electricity, especially in the provinces of South Cotabato, Sultan Kudarat, and Davao. Power and communication outages significantly complicated the process of obtaining information from remote areas. A major landslide in Sarangani province became a tragic consequence of the earthquake. In the municipality of Glan, it buried residential homes at the foot of a mountain. Authorities reported the deaths of at least 14 people. The seismic event occurred on the first day of the school year and seriously disrupted the educational process. Classes were interrupted for more than 4 million students. In 6 regions of the country, more than 8,500 schools were damaged, while at least 62 educational institutions were completely destroyed. After the main shock, the region was hit by a series of powerful aftershocks. In less than 3 hours, 138 seismic events with magnitudes of up to 6.7 were recorded. The continuing seismic activity seriously complicated rescue operations. As of June 9th, the death toll had reached 41 people, at least 450 people had been injured, and dozens were still listed as missing. The earthquakes left tens of thousands of families homeless